We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, Dr. Mostafa Ragab, the chairman of the Federation of Egyptian Entities in Europe. Dr. Mostafa, very good afternoon to you, sir.
A very good afternoon to you and all your listeners.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your time. And let's start by talking a bit about, in your opinion, what are some of the most important, features for the preparations of the Egyptians' participation in the upcoming presidential elections abroad?
In fact, there is a lot of preparation for this election due to the difficulties and the things that we face in Europe and in particular in the UK for the distance that separates the voters from the election center.
Yes.
The distance, sometimes it goes over 1,000 kilometers, which is a very long distance, and people to travel that distance and to come over, they really deserve a big thanks for their efforts, and they all full of enthusiasm and all full of love of Egypt and the support of the government and the support for what is the government stands for, especially with the Gaza conflict right now and what the government did to the Palestinians. So in full support of that, and we're working very hard to show our support.
Absolutely.
Say, for example, now we are in contact with most of the people all over the UK and try to liaise with them and help them and advise them and do whatever we can to get them to come to the voting centre. I said, regardless the difficulty facing with the distance issue. Also, we help them and try to organize coaches for them. We were aiming to get 5 coaches. So far, we managed 2, and still working on the other 3. Of course, they're very expensive, and each one of them costs around 3,000 sterling. So that is a very expensive operation, but we overcoming all these difficulties. Also, we're offering the people with special needs any help they want to come to the voting center. And we've had a few calls from people who cannot walk, who cannot come, who cannot drive. And we organizing with different kind of the members to offer that help to those people. We're also advising advice. So a lot of people are confused, don't know really the voting is in the consulate or the embassy and what time and what days. So we're offering the help with all this information to everybody. So we're hoping that next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd of December, we will manage to get as many people as we can. But I take this a chance and say and send a message to the authorities in Egypt that please, we definitely, desperately need some other means of voting, like electronic voting or post voting, because that will make it a lot easier for the Egyptian community, not just in the UK, all over Europe. This is an issue that we're all dealing with, we're all suffering with. So through your program, I hope this message will get to the authorities, especially with our young people.
Yes, that actually leads me to. Yes, Dr.
No,
Mostafa.
let me just explain this.
Yes.
Our young people who do everything now electronically, they get paid electronically, they buy their stuff electronically, it's living electronically, and it's very hard for us to sell it to them and say we cannot do an electronic vote. If people worried about people fiddling with the election, this happens anyway, whatever you do. But what percentage is it? So I take this a chance to say, please, let's get the confidence in our young people abroad that we can do that like everyone else.
Absolutely.
But we're doing our best anyway to come up with a good result, to come up with a picture that we'll be proud of, to try and get as many people as we can to the voting center.
Absolutely, which leads me to my next question, Dr. Mostafa. How keen do you see Egyptians abroad to participate in this political process and exercise their political right to vote and elect their new president, especially with the youth? Do they seem keen to take part in such political processes?
This is the issue that I'm stressing on the youth. The youth, they need to, they want to, but we have to make it possible for them. We have to make it possible for those youth who have been born in the UK, living in the UK, but they have Egyptian nationalities. and we have to encourage them and make sure that they do participate. They want to, but it's very difficult for them to travel all this long distance. We're not aiming for the longest distance, 1,000 kilometers. We're targeting the people that halfway, about 500 kilometers, to try and get them over. It's very difficult when you look at the expense, and they have to stay the night, and they have to pay a lot of money for the transportation. So electric vote, postal vote will really encourage people, will really get a lot of people to participate and take part. So this is the message that I'm trying to through your program. I have spoken to people in the election center in Egypt, and they said it's difficult. We're trying to do it. I said, but this is the third election. We always say to our young people, we're going to do it next time. So hopefully next time we can do it and prove to the people in Egypt that our young people are willing to participate. They're very excited. They want to join in. So let's just encourage them and help them to join in.
Yes. Right. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Mostafa Ragab, Chairman of the Federation of Egyptian Entities in Europe. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.